Okay, so due to the trouble of the internet connections, so I will be continuing discussing about the plant structure under the stem structure to the parts of the vascular cambium. So if we say vascular cambium, they are the main meristem in the stem producing undifferentiated wood cells inwards and bark cells towards. So kapag sinabi nating vascular cambium, siya yung ring-like type wherein it produces a lot of rings na kung saan ay kapag mas madaming ring, yun yung pinaka-identified na age ng mismong crop, especially kapag mga wooded or kaya mga wood crop yung mga yan or wood trees yung mga yan. So the vascular cambium are responsible for the protecting the plants or kaya protecting the wood, specifically kapag yung mga yon ay soft-bodied na mga parts. So the vascular cambium are the main meristem to protecting also the xylem and phloem nung mismong plants natin. Okay, it protects the xylem and phloem and at the same time the pit of the plants. Okay? So kapag ang vascular cambium ay na-inoculate na lahat ng parts nitong wood na ito, it means matured na mismo yung plants na yan or kaya yung wood na yan. So sa mga ibang trees natin, ang vascular cambium ang dinedetermine kung ano ng age ng plants. So the higher the ring, it means ay matanda na yon. But in plants, especially in our agricultural crops, iisa lang mismo yung vascular cambium natin. That would be the main meristem that identified as an undifferentiated wood. Okay? So yun. So ito yung kanyang vascular system. So ito yung kanyang vascular. Okay? Ito. So this is the vascular cambium. So ano yung nakakover sa vascular cambium? That is the bark. Okay, the bark cells outwards. So ito yung bark cells outwards. Ito naman yung bark cells inward. As you can see, mayroong boundaries to boundaries yan. Ito yung bark cells inward. And then in between, ito mismo, ang tawag na dito, that is the vascular cambium. Specifically, the boundary of the vascular cambium determines or identified on the boundaries of this soft bark or the outward bark cells. Okay? Next, another one is the root structure. So the root structure, meron tayong mga parts. We have the endodermis. So kapag sinabi nating endo means ito ay nasa loob. So endodermis is the innermost layer of the cortex. So saan located ang endodermis? So this is the endodermis. Yung yellow ang kanyang kulay. Okay? The yellow color is what we call on the endodermis. Okay? So the root hairs is the cylindrical. This is the root hairs. So cylindrical extension of the roots, epidermal cells that are important for the acquisitions of the nutrient, microbe, interaction, and plant anchorage. So that is the root hairs. To produce the root hairs, kailangan the cortex must be fulfilled, the area or the pores we're in para makapag-generate siya ng root hairs. Okay? Next. Plant cells. So, tapos na tayo doon sa plant structure. Pupunta naman tayo doon sa cells ng plants natin. So, the plant cells, we all know that the plant cell is the basic unit of life. That is also the basic unit of all the plant or organisms para sila ay mabuhay. So, plant cells are eukaryotic. Kapag sinabi nating eukaryotics, plants are eukaryotic wherein they have a lot or numerous cells in their body. So lahat ng mismong parts ng plants natin ay pinapalibutan sila or present lahat yung cells. Or kaya meron silang presence of cells. So multiple or multi-cells ang ating plant cells. So ang plant cells natin have a membrane-bound nucleus and organelles. And they have a cell walls surrounding the cell membrane. So isa-isahin natin kung ano ang mga parte ng cells natin. So, what are the parts of the cell? We have the cell wall, the membrane, the chloroplast, the Golgi apparatus, the nucleus, mitochondrion, endoplasmic, and the vacuole. All of these things will be discussed lahat. Okay, so specifically, lahat ng mga ito ay elaborate natin upang sa ganon ay mas maintindihan natin yung ibig sabihin. Okay? So, we have the cell walls. So, the cell wall, meron siyang mga parte. Okay? Ano ang parte ng ating cell wall? So, the cell wall is the intercellular adhesion or that is the outer covering of the cell. So, kapag titingnan natin dito sa buong parts ng cell, yung cell wall ang nakakover or nagpo-protect sa buong parte ng mismong cells. So, siya yung tinatawag nating epidermal part of the cell, that is the cell wall. Okay? Cell wall. Next, so what are the parts of the cell wall? We have the pectin, the cellulose microfibril, hemicellulose, the middle lamella, primary cell wall, and the plasma membrane. So what do we mean by pectin? So kapag sinabi nating pectin, that is the intercellular adhesion. Kapag sinabi nating adhesion, ito yung dumidikit or kaya pumapatong doon sa mismong parte ng cell wall upang sa ganon ay hindi mag-break. Especially ang nagbe-break dito ay yung cellulose microfibril. So kapag nag-break kasi yung microfibril and the hemicellulose, ang mangyayari ay nagkakaroon ng crushing of the cells, especially doon sa cell walls. So kapag nagkaroon ng crushing doon sa cell wall or nagkaroon ng break doon sa cell walls, it means there is something wrong with the normal functions of that plants. Okay, that is in the pectin. Okay, so pectin is the right angle layers, so it will not affect one another. So siya yung mismong nag-hold or parang pinaka-tunnel so that lahat ng parte ng nasa loob mismo ng cell wall ay connected. Okay, example sana yung bahay, para hindi makita yung connection ng mga kuryente, syempre nasa loob mismo ng wall. 'Di ba? Doon sa loob mismo ng wall, ang tawag mo doon sa pinaka-kuryente or kaya yung pinaka-wirings ay pectin kapag sa cell wall natin. So yung pectin na yon, it serve as the activations or it serve as their connections upang sa ganon hindi bibigay yung wall na yon. Okay? And at the same time, kailangan merong simento and bakal. So ang pinakabakal doon is the pectin, wherein siya yung nagpapatibay doon sa pagtatayo ng bahay na yan. That is for the pectin. Okay? Another one is the cellulose microfibril. So anong ibig sabihin ng cellulose microfibril? They are arranged in orthogonal layers. So anong ibig sabihin ng orthogonal layers? As you can see, para siyang pinagpapatong-patong na kahoy na kung saan hindi na naaapektuhan ang bawat isa. So pag ipinatong mo ang tatlo, so yung susunod doon ay hindi nagko-contradict doon sa positions wherein nakakapit pa rin siya dahil merong pinakatali. Ang pinakatali kasi dito ng ating cell wall is the pectin who hold the middle lamella and holding the plasma cell membrane. So ang plasma cell membrane kasi is very soft. And then ang middle lamella kasi is meron siyang hard part or kaya magaspang masyado ang ating middle lamella, forcing yung mismong cellulose microfibril and also the hemicellulose so that magiging compact yung joining ng ating cell wall. So what do we mean by hemicellulose? So hemicellulose is the strengthening the cell wall by interaction with the cellulose and in some walls with a lignin. So a lignin is a bilayer barrier to the passage of the molecules. So it passages to the molecules and ions into and out of the cells. So that is for the lignin. Next, we have also the middle lamella. So the middle lamella is cementing together or siya yung mismong pinaka gitna or pinaka burger ng ating cell wall. Wherein para dumikit yung ating pectin and at the same time yung ating cellulose microfibril, kakailanganin ng pabigat. Okay? Itong pabigat na ito, ang tawag mo dito is the middle lamella. So it cement together or it joint together so that makapag-develop siya or para masabi mong it is a cell wall. And then, we have also the primary cell wall. So the primary cell wall that is thinner and less rigid. So to allow for cell wall expansion during growth. So anong ginagawa ng primary cell wall? Bakit ganyan ang kanyang formation? Kasi ang plants natin, lumalaki siya. So once na lumalaki ang plants natin, nag-e-expand din ang cells or kaya nag-e-expand din or kaya nag-grow din yung ating cells. So para makapag-expand at lumaki yung cells natin, kailangan merong aerations or pores ang loob mismo ng cell wall na located doon sa primary cell wall upang sa ganon, yung growth ng cell walls natin ay umaayon doon sa growing status ng plants natin. Kapag hindi lumalaki ang plants natin at nagiging stagnant siya, it means hindi nagwo-work ang cell wall. Hindi siya nag-e-expand. Hindi siya nag-i-stretch. Bakit hindi siya nag-i-stretch? Siguro due to stresses. Especially kapag may drought, may flooding, at merong mga something na mga diseases na pumasok doon na pwedeng sumira doon sa plants. Kasi ang depicted or kaya ang pinaka-picture ng morphological structure ng plants natin, it is based on the structure of the cell wall or the status of the cell wall. So doon sa status ng cell wall natin, doon mo ma-depict kung ano ang magiging status din ng ating morphological structure ng plants. So kung maganda ang plants mo, it means maganda or normal ang cell or kaya yung mismong process of the cell. So normal functioning or operations ng cells kapag ganan. So kailangan mag-expand. And then we have the plasma membrane. So kapag sinabi natin plasma membrane, it consists of lipids bilayer. So nasabi ko kanina, kapag sinabi natin lipids bilayer, they are the barrier to the passage of the molecules and the ions into and out of the cells. So ang mga plasma membrane natin ay semi-permeable. Kapag sinabi natin semi-permeable, hindi lahat ng tubig ay pumapasok dito, wherein siya yung nagko-control or nagbabalance upang sa ganon, hindi lahat ng moisture ay papasok sa primary cell wall. Once kasi na ang tubig ay pumasok dito sa primary cell walls natin, it means ay babad yung plants doon sa tubig or kaya nagkakaroon ng flooding. So yun ang isa. Next, so I will be presenting to you kung ano ang itsura ng cell wall sa loob ng plants. Wherein magbibigay ako ng isang kaunting videos upang ma-imagine ninyo ano ba ang cell wall.
Primary wall of plant cells as a composite structure that provides support and protection while remaining flexible enough for growth and expansion. The primary cell wall is mostly composed of carbohydrate polymers, including pectin gels, filaments of
So the green color is the hemicellulose, the yellow is the pectin, and then yung blue band, that is the cellulose. Okay?
The primary wall is assembled at the surface of the cell membrane.
So you are entering in the cell membrane of the plants.
A rosette of synthesis enzymes
Locating
at
the
cell surface create long
cell
chains
wall
of cellulose molecules, which combine into stiff microfibrils. A vesicle from the cell's interior releases its cargo of carbohydrate polymers, which interact with the newly formed cellulose fibers.
Okay, so yun yung parte ng ating cell wall. So natapos na tayo sa cell wall, pupunta naman tayo sa cell membrane. So the cell membrane, kapag sinabi natin cell membrane, they are providing the tensile strength and protection against mechanical and osmotic stress. So kapag sinabi natin osmotic, we are referring sa ating tubig or kung paano yung movement ng tubig sa loob ng plants. So that is the osmotic. So kung paano yung kanyang bursting, paano yung kanyang translocations ng tubig, that is so-called osmotic. I-discuss natin yan na merong separate topic upang maintindihan nyo paano pumapasok ang tubig sa loob ng plants and paano siya naku-convert into something na enzymes or paano ginagamit ng plants ang tubig para ma-convert yung isang molecule into a enzymes as a source of food doon sa ating plants. Kasi ang kinakain ng plants natin is the enzymes. Kino-convert niya muna yung nutrients before niya ito i-consume. So, meron tayong mga iba't ibang parts ng ating cell membrane. So, we have the phospholipid head. So, anong ibig sabihin ng phospholipid head? So, that is attracting to the water. So, phospholipid head is hydrophilic region. So, they are in the hydrophilic region. Or the attracting to water. And also we have the phospholipid tails. So anong ibig sabihin ng phospholipid head? So as you can see here, ito sana yung parts ng ating cell membrane. So ngayon yung cell membrane, meron tayong phospholipid head. So yung bilog na nakikita nyo dito, they are so-called the phospholipid head. And then yung nasa baba niya or yung whip-like structure na pababa, downward, that is so-called the phospholipid tails. Okay? And then, hindi lang isa ito, meron din siyang combinations doon sa kanyang baba, that is the phospholipid head din, and then we have also the phospholipid tails. So kapag ang phospholipid head, they are hydrophilic region or sila yung attracted sa tubig. And then kapag naman phospholipid tails, yan ay mga hydrophobic tails. Kapag sinabi nating hydrophobic tail, they are contrasted to water or sumasabay lang sila sa agos. Okay? But they are not attracting with the water. Sumusunod lang sila doon sa mismong head wherein sila yung mas attracted doon sa tubig. Okay? So, the head outer, as you can see, the head outer is towards the extracellular fluid. So, itong head outer, yan, sa outside the cells, so yung head outer is towards the extracellular fluid. And then yung head inner, yan yung towards the cytoplasm. Okay? They are towards in the cytoplasms. So, titignan natin kung ano yung process or kaya kung ano yung naging itsura ng ating cell membranes sa video mamaya. So nakikita natin, meron pa tayo ditong integral protein. So anong ibig sabihin ng integral protein? Yung nakikita yung blue. So the integral protein is embedded in the lipid bilayer. Okay? So they are embedded or kaya siya ay nakakapit or nakasingit doon sa hydrophilic regions. Okay? They are embedded in the lipid bilayer. And then meron tayong tatlong interaction of the protein. We have the interaction outside the cells and then interaction in the hydrophobic core. Kapag sinabi nating hydrophobic core, ito. So, merong interaction outside the cell. As you can see, itong pinakataas niya. Integral protein. The integral protein, when the integral protein are present in the extracellular fluid, ang tawag doon, that is outside of the cell. So, the protein are outside of the cells. Pero, kapag ang integral protein ay nasa gitna, so ang tawag diyan ay they are present in the hydrophobic core or kaya sa pinaka middle part. And then, kapag naman ang integral protein nasisilip mismo doon sa pinakababa ng ating cell membrane, so the integral protein are present in the interior of the cells. So ang tawag mo kapag present na yung integral protein sa pinaka interior or towards the cytoplasm is they called a cytosol. Okay? Cytosol ang tawag na. So kapag ang parte ng integral protein ay nasa taas mismo or outside the cell, that is interaction of the protein outside the cell. Pero kapag present ang integral protein sa pinakagitna, wherein located siya sa pinakagitna, na present doon yung mga present doon ang kanyang tail-like structure, so it means they are in the hydrophobic core. Okay, hydrophobic core. And then, once na yung proteins na yon or kaya yung integral proteins are located in the cytoplasm or towards the cytoplasm, they are called the interior of the cell, called the cytosol. Okay? Cytosol. So, ang ating cell membrane, meron ding mga presence of carbohydrates. So, the carbohydrates and other lipids. Okay? Para mas ma-appreciate ninyo ang itsura ng mismong cell membrane, I will be presenting to you a video regarding sa cell membrane. So, mamamasyal muna tayo sa cell membrane.
In this video, we will be discussing the structure of the cell membrane. When scientists looked at the selectively permeable cell membrane, they described its structure as a fluid mosaic. You might know that a mosaic is a picture made up of little tiles. Like a mosaic, the cell membrane is made up of different parts as well. The cell membrane has two layers of phospholipids, referred to as a lipid bilayer. The lipid bilayer isn't rigid. The phospholipids in it have the ability
So,
to
these are
move in a
called the
flexible,
lipid
wave-like
bilayer.
motion.
Okay? We have
Let's
the
take a
head
closer
outer
look at a
and the
few
head inner.
phospholipids. The round head portions are hydrophilic, which means they are attracted to water. Both the extracellular fluid, meaning fluid outside the cell, and the cytoplasm inside the cell.
So this is the
Are
inside the
mostly
cell,
made up of
outside the
water.
cell, that is the extra fluid or
So the
extracellular fluid.
hydrophilic phospholipid heads of the outer layer will be oriented toward the extracellular fluid,
So they are towards.
and the heads of the inner layer will be oriented toward the cytoplasm. The phospholipid tails are hydrophobic, which means watery areas repel them. so they orient toward each other in a direction as far away from the watery content as possible. There are also scattered proteins embedded in the phospholipid layers, some with carbohydrates attached.
So,
So, in the fluid mosaic model, the cell membrane is made up of different parts, and these parts make up a flexible boundary around the cell. But how do the majority of substances get in or out of the cell? Some molecules seep through the little spaces in between the phospholipids, which make up the majority of the semi-permeable cell membrane. However, other molecules are too big to fit through the cell membrane this way. So how do these larger molecules pass through the cell membrane? The molecules move through proteins embedded in the cell membrane, either from the extracellular area into the cell or from the intracellular area out of the cell. These substances will move through tunnels made up of these proteins. We'll explore how things move through the cell membrane in greater detail separately.
okay, that is the function of the cell membrane into the plants. So, nakikita natin kanina, the head outer, and the head inner. So, ano yung nagfa-function or kaya ano yung present in the head outer, that is the extracellular fluid. The present in the head inner of that cell membrane is the towards cytoplasms. Okay? Next. So, punta naman tayo sa chloroplast. So, we all know that the chloroplast is the oval, or the shape of the chloroplast is oval or biconvex, that are found in the mesophyll, or found within the mesophyll. So, they are produce energy through the photosynthesis and the oxygen. So, what are the parts of this chloroplast? So, the parts of the chloroplast are granum, thylakoid, lumen, stroma, and the chromatin. So what do we mean by granum? So the granum is the membrane network of the plants of the chloroplast, or the unit during the photosynthesis. So while the thylakoid, so saan nakalocate ang granum? So ang granum is look like a plate-like structure wherein para siyang plato na nakadikit mismo, or sa Ilocano nakasalansan doon sa isang place wherein naka-fix or naka-fit in na siya doon. We have also the lumen. So as you can see, the lumen is the providing space to the thylakoid. So yung loob mismo ng granum, meron tayong tinatawag na lumen. So the lumen providing the space to the thylakoid. Kasi ang ating mga chloroplast naman ay nag-enlarge. So para at least ay merong something na space, ang ginagawa ni lumen, provide the space for the different structure or kaya different molecules needed in the production of the food ng plants natin. Another one is the stroma. So the stroma supporting the organs and act as a connective tissue for the organ. So siya yung mismong ito. So ito mismo ang nagsusupport doon sa organs natin, wherein it connect the tissue for the organ from the granum to another granum. So ang granum is a plate-like structure wherein para siyang mga pinggan na kung saan ay naka-arrange na siya. Okay, so ang ating granum has a different segments or a numerous segments, wherein inside the granum there is a lumen that providing a space for the production of the food, especially doon sa thylakoids. So chromatin refers to the mixture of the DNA proteins that form the chromosomes. Okay, so the chromatin refers to the mixture of the DNA and proteins that form on the chromosomes. So chromatin also is the main carrier of the genetic informations, and it is not randomly distributed in the nucleus. So malalaman natin mamaya kung anong ibig sabihin ng chromatin, paano nabubuo yung chromosomes gamit ang chromatin, ano ang kanyang ingredient or kaya ano yung requirement niya para masabing they are part of the chromosome or genetic material of the plants. So basta ang isipin muna natin, kapag chromatin, they are a mixture of a DNA and a protein that will form to the chromosomes, and it is also a main carrier of the genetic informations, and it is not non-randomly distributed in the nucleus. So ipe-present ko sa inyo kung paano yung itsura ng chloroplast doon sa loob mismo ng plants based dito sa video na aking ipe-present. So we are approaching to the redwood tree to animate the scientifically accurate leaf. Artists studied the texture of the redwood leaf species on the plants. So as we go on, so these leaves would be measured on the centimeter scale throughout the animation, and we will gradually zoom in to a smaller scales para makita ninyo. So itong nakikita nyo ngayon, that is the stomata. Okay, papasok tayo ngayon dito sa stomata. As we approach a single stoma, we are now on the millimeter scale. And then, ang nakikita nyo dito is a lot of cells. As we enter to the interior of the leaf, we see many individual of palisade cells. So these cells are where photosynthesis that takes place. So as we approach a single palisade cell, we will zoom down to the micrometer scales. So the shape inside the cell are organelles. So the bright organelles. So that large blue membranes are the nucleus, and yung purple naman, yan yung mitochondria. Okay? So yun yung mga mitochondria. So the faint yellow spider web structure are so-called cytoskeletons. So yung nakikita nyo parang spider webs. So yun ay cytoskeletons. So you are about to enter to the chloroplast. Yan, inside and see the flat panicles. So yan yung nakikita ninyong chloroplast. So ganyan ang itsura niya sa loob ng plants. So the green and blue brush-like structure are photosystems and cluster of proteins that are absorb light energy from the sun and help convert it into an organisms or something molecule that needs by the plants. So the yellow-green rotating the structure is an enzyme called the ATP synthase. Okay, so the adenosine triphosphate. So the pulses of light in the thylakoid membrane in which the photosystem are embedded represent the energized electron being passed. So ganyan ang itsura niya. If we viewed it zoomly, para at least may makita ninyo or ma-appreciate ninyo. Ano? So yung laboratory number 1 natin ay gagawa tayo or kaya mag-microscope tayo, but hindi pa ako nakabili nung mismong gagamitin natin para isaksak na lang natin sa laptop upang hindi na tayo gagamit ng mga manual na microscope. Darating siya by next week siguro para maikuha na natin or mai-perform na natin yung activity or kaya laboratory number 1 natin. So number 4, we have the Golgi apparatus. So there are a lot of parts doon sa Golgi apparatus natin. Ang Golgi apparatus serve as the site at which the complex polysaccharides of the cell wall are synthesized or synthase. So meron tayong 5 parts ng ating Golgi apparatus. Number 1 major parts ng Golgi is the cisternae or cisternae. So the cisternae are the flattened or the shape. Ito mismo. The shape para siyang goma. And para siyang goma na kung saan very soft ito and stretchable ang ating cisternae. And then ang lumen naman, ito yung inside the cisternae wherein yun ay isang butas wherein it enclosed by the membranes of any cisterna or cisternae. And then we have also the secretory vesicle or vesicle. It mediates the vesicular or vehicular transport of cargo like yung hormone or neurotransmitter. So siya yung nagme-mediates or nagbabalance doon sa transportation of the hormone or neurotransmitter. And then yung transphase naman, nasaan yung transphase? So yung transphase natin is located below the Golgi apparatus. This is the exit area in the form of smaller detached vesicles. And then yung CIS phase or cis phase, ito naman yung entry point of the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, that is the entry point or a substance enter from the endoplasmic reticulum. That is the cis phase. Okay, so another one is the nucleus. So the nucleus is a site of storage. Okay, ito yung cisternae natin or kaya yung Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus responsible in holding the nucleus or kaya located doon yung nucleus natin. The nucleus is the storage and replication of the chromosomes. So, diyan mismo nagagawa or kaya nade-develop yung chromosomes natin. And paano nade-develop ang chromosomes natin? So, nade-develop ang chromosomes natin if there is a presence of the DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid through the complexing of the chromatin process. So, the chromatin process is a complex of genomic DNA. Wherein, kailangan si DNA mag-merge or kaya magkaroon ng bindings with the proteins. Ang tawag mo na doon is histone. So kapag nag-merge si DNA and si protein, they are so-called histone. So si histone naman will bind to the molecule of the DNA so that it will form as a chromosomes. So unang-una na process, there must be a complex genomic DNA na ang tawag mo doon sa complexes ng genomic DNA is the chromatin. And then, once nagkaroon ng merging of the DNA with the proteins, they are so-called the histone. And then, when there is a binding of the histone or yung na-process doon sa histone ay nag-bind doon sa DNA molecules, they are so-called chromosomes. So that's the time na makakabuo ka na ng tinatawag nating genomic or the genome of the plants natin para ma-determine kung ano yung characteristic ng plants. And then we have also the nucleus pores. So the nucleus pores are the large complex. Saan yung nucleus pores dito? So the nucleus pores is the large complex of the protein that allow small molecules and ions to freely pass. So it means nagkakaroon ng entry and exhaustion dito sa mismong nucleus through the nuclear pores. Okay? Allow the small molecules and ion to freely pass or diffuse into or out the nucleus. So kapag sinabi nating diffusing, ito yung nailalabas. And then kapag ina-accept niya, it means dumadaan yan sa nuclear pores natin. So sa loob ng plants natin or sa loob mismo ng nucleus natin, yung nakikita nyong tail-like structure dito, ito yung chromatin. So si chromatin ay magfo-form into genomic DNA. So it means para siyang magiging infinity yung shape niya later on. Bago siya maging infinity yung kanyang shape, kakailanganin niya munang makipag-bind with the protein. Once na nakipag-bind siya sa protein na yon, ang tawag mo sa process na yon is histone. Okay? So, once na nagkaroon ng binding, that's the time that the histone will merge with the DNA molecule wherein doon mo ma-identify na yung shape na yon is a part of the chromosomes. Okay? So, kapag merong binding or merging of the histone and DNA molecule, chromosomes. Next, we have also the mitochondrion. Mitochondrion are producing energy, cell division, and growth through the cellular respirations. Okay? So ang mitochondria, siya yung powerhouse of the cell. Diba? They are so-called the powerhouse of the cells. So meron lang akong nakalimutan dito sa Golgi apparatus. Yung vesicles, ang ibig sabihin ng vesicles pala, these are the extracellular or ang vesicles are interfere in the development of tumor membrane or the bound sacs. So ang vesicle ginagamit for the transport and for the storage ang vesicles. Okay? Especially ito, yung incoming transport vesicle and then itong part na ito, lahat ng mga vesicles na nandito, they are the storage and transport. Okay? That is the extracellular. Kasi sila ay nakalocate sa labas mismo ng ating Golgi apparatus. Okay? Yun. Next, punta naman tayo sa mitochondrion. So the mitochondrion produce energy. Okay? Cell division and growth through the cellular respirations. So ang mitochondrion siya yung pinaka-powerhouse of the cells. So next one is the matrix. So mitochondrion din, ang pinaka-requirement niya to produce energy pala ay carbon and water. Okay? Carbon and water. So yung tinatawag nating matrix kanina, the matrix is meron siyang process. Wherein ang process ng matrix, wherein the inner space surrounded by the inner membrane, they are called the matrix. So the process of matrix are replication, repair, recombination, and transcription. So ang responsibility ni matrix ay to replicate, to repair the cells, to recombine the cell, and there is a process of transcriptions. Okay? So another one is the porins. So the porins are the type of the proteins that form a large size of pores in outer membrane. So saan yung porins dito? This is the porins wherein siya ay isang type ng protein forms. Okay? From the outer membrane. So ang porins din pala ay involved doon sa exchange ng nutrients over the outer membrane. So siya din yung merong exchange of nutrients over the outer membrane of the gram-negative bacteria. And then they are also involved in the phytogenesis. Okay? Ang porins involved din siya sa phytogenesis. Ito yung target ng mga pathogens natin. So, kapag sinabi natin pathogenesis, once na pumasok yung pathogen sa loob ng plants, dito siya mismo nagde-develop. Kaya kapag sinabi natin pathogenesis, the process of the development of the bacteria or the pathogen or ongoing na development ng pathogen. That is pathogenesis. And then we have the ribosomes. So the ribosomes are the small organelles and are site of protein synthesis. So small organelles and are site of protein synthesis ang ating ribosomes. So alam nyo ba na ang ribosomes din natin are found in all cells? So nakikita siya sa lahat ng cells. So it produce a protein ang ating ribosomes from the amino acids. So nagpo-produce siya ng protein doon sa product niya na amino acid during the process called protein synthesis. So kapag nagkaroon ng protein synthesis, so it means makakapag-produce ka ng product or merong conversion of what we call on amino acid. Okay? Ang tawag mo doon sa process ng production ng proteins from the amino acid during a process of the protein synthesis is translation. Okay? So kapag sinabi natin translation, ito yung it takes place on the ribosomes in the cell cytoplasm. Taking place the ribosomes in the cell cytoplasms. So nabanggit ko na kanina, what is ATP? So yung ATP synthesis pala or adenosine triphosphate ay nabubuo mismo ito doon sa cells ng plants natin. Especially, merong parte dito sa ating mitochondria. So, saang parte dito? So, dito siya sa mismong matrix. So, doon sa inside ng matrix or kaya yung boundary nung intermembrane space and matrix, located doon ang synthesis of ATP or yung pagbubuo ng adenosine triphosphate. So, yung product ng ATP was made in the mitochondrion cell. Okay? Or in the mitochondrion part of the cells. So, titingnan natin kung ano ang itsura ng ating mitochondria.
Mitochondria, structure and function. Objective: to learn about the structure and functions of mitochondria. Mitochondria are located in the cytoplasm of cells and are among the largest cell organelles within a cell. They are called powerhouses of cells because they convert energy into forms that are usable by the cell. Mitochondria vary in shape from almost spherical to elongated ovals. Mitochondria are bound by two membranes. Each membrane is a phospholipid bilayer with embedded proteins. The outer membrane is smooth, while the inner membrane has many inward folds called cristae. The folds increase the surface area and are the working surfaces for mitochondrial reactions. The inner membrane is selectively permeable to certain molecules, such as pyruvic acid and adenosine triphosphate, ATP. On the cristae, sugar is combined with oxygen to produce ATP, the primary energy source for the cell. The space surrounding the cristae is a matrix filled with dense solution containing enzymes, coenzymes, water, and other molecules involved in cellular respiration. Mitochondria are the sites of cellular respiration, which finally generates fuel for the cell's activities. Mitochondria are also involved in other cell processes, such as cell division and growth, as well as cell death. Mitochondria are semi-autonomous. They are partially dependent on the cell to replicate and grow. They have their own DNA, ribosomes, and can make their own proteins. Summary: mitochondria are the powerhouses of cells. Mitochondria are involved in the production of energy, cell division, and growth.
Okay? So that is the part and function of the mitochondria. So punta naman tayo, last two. That is the endoplasmic reticulum. So the endoplasmic reticulum is a large, serve as a calcium storage. And at the same time, this is the protein synthesis and lipid metabolisms. So meron tayong dalawang klase ng reticulum or parts ng endoplasmic reticulum. We have the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and the rough endoplasmic reticulum, or the SER and the rough ER. So the smooth ER, it makes a cellular product like the hormones and lipids. So siya yung mismong gumagawa ng cellular product gaya ng hormones and yung lipids natin. And then ang rough endoplasmic reticulum naman, they are small round organelles. At ang function ng rough endoplasmic reticulum ay they synthesize a protein. Okay? They synthesize a protein. So the most basic differences between the RER and the SER is the presence of ribosomes. Okay? Yung differences daw ng smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum is based doon sa presence ng ating ribosomes. So when the ribosomes attach to the surface of the ER, kapag ang ribosome daw ay naka-attach doon sa rough surface of the ER, they are called, or the surface of an ER or endoplasmic reticulum, ang tawag doon ay RER or rough endoplasmic reticulum. So, para malinaw, kapag naka-attach daw ang ribosomes doon sa endoplasmic reticulum, ang tawag doon ay rough endoplasmic reticulum. So it means RER has a ribosomes. Okay? Next, kapag smooth endoplasmic reticulum naman, if walang naka-attach na ribosome, ang tawag doon smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Does not have a ribosome on its surface. So walang ribosomes or yellow na nakikita. So it means smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So ribosome attached to its membrane. So yung smooth endoplasmic reticulum naka-attach ang kanyang ribosomes doon sa kanyang membrane but does not in the surface of the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay? So that is the one. Next, ano ang ribosomes? Anong ibig sabihin ng ribosomes? So, ang ribosome is a micro machines. Okay? They are the micro machines for making a protein. So, ang gumagawa ng protein pala dito sa endoplasmic reticulum is the ribosomes. So, siya yung pinaka-special protein and nucleic acid of the endoplasmic reticulum. And then, nabanggit ko na kanina, ano ang amino acids? Okay? So ano ang amino acids? So the amino acid is the heart. Yan. Amino acid is the heart of the protein production process. Heart of the protein production process. They are so-called the amino acid. So kanina, meron tayong sinasabing translation. So the translation is the process of information and the linking of the amino acid. So ang pinaka-linking of the amino acid is translation. While ang amino acid is the heart of the protein. Okay? So what produces protein in plants? What produces protein in plants? So alam nyo ba that protein is made from the nitrate? Okay? Nitrate. They are made from the nitrate. So nitrates are taken into the plants through the roots. So they are taken down doon sa plants through the roots and are pulled in the plants or into the plants where they are converted into amino acid. So protein is made up of nitrate and then the nitrates are taken into the plants. Taken into the plants through the roots. So ang nag-a-absorb dito ay si roots. And pinupull out siya doon sa plants kung saan yung nitrate na yon kino-convert into amino acid. So the amino acid is the product of the protein production process so that the protein will be the food and at the same time will be converting as an enzyme called the protease. Okay, naintindihan? So yan ang isa. So I hope naintindihan nyo na yung pinaka-basic ng ating discussions. Ano? Kasi basic ito bago tayo pupunta sa pinaka-widened part ng ating discussions.
Hello,
Okay.
everyone.
Ngayon, itutur ko kayo kung ano ang endoplasmic reticulum.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BioScholar. Today, we're setting off into the world of cell biology to uncover the secrets of the endoplasmic reticulum. And by the end of this video, you'll have a whole new appreciation for this incredible cellular structure. Before we jump into the nitty-gritty of the endoplasmic reticulum, let's lay down the basics. Imagine a cell as a bustling city, and within that city lies a bustling factory, the endoplasmic reticulum. Here's what the ER looks like. It's not just a static structure. It's a dynamic network of membranes intricately woven throughout the cell. Picture it as the cell's very own highway system, connecting various regions and enabling the efficient movement of material. Now, imagine this network split into two main types, the smooth ER and the rough ER. The rough ER stands out due to its studded appearance, thanks to ribosomes dotting its surface like busy workers in a factory. These ribosomes are the cell's protein-producing powerhouses. As the ribosomes work tirelessly, they synthesize proteins that will serve diverse functions within the cell and even beyond. These proteins can range from enzymes that facilitate chemical reactions to structural proteins that give the cell its shape and integrity. Producing proteins is just the beginning. Endoplasmic reticulum takes its quality control seriously. It ensures that the proteins are properly folded, and if any fail the test, they're sent for recycling. On the flip side, we have the smooth ER, which lacks these ribosomes. But don't let its smooth appearance fool you. It's a hub of activity too. Smooth ER is like a lipid factory. It's responsible for synthesizing lipids, which are essential components of cell membranes, hormones, and other crucial molecules. These lipids are then dispatched to different parts of the cell, contributing to its structure and signaling pathways. Hold on to your seats, because endoplasmic reticulum also plays a pivotal role in intracellular transport. It's like a busy highway network within the cell, allowing materials to move from one part to another in tiny bubble-like structures called vesicles. But wait, there's more. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum isn't just about lipids. It's also responsible for detoxifying the cell. It's like the cell's detox center, breaking down harmful substances. So, there you go, the endoplasmic reticulum, a multitasking marvel within our cells. From protein synthesis to lipid production, quality control to detoxification, this cellular factory keeps things running smoothly. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of the endoplasmic reticulum. If you found this video as intriguing,
Okay. Next, last one is the vacuole. So, what do we mean by vacuole? So, the vacuole is the membrane organelles or the membrane-bound organelles, and the vacuole will also help the sequester waste products. So, it means ay siya yung magsisequesting or sequestrations of the product wherein i-convert niya into something yung waste product na yon into an edible product na i-consume pa rin ng plants natin. And then, the vacuole also will help in maintaining the water balance of the cells. Okay? So, tonoplast. Anong ibig sabihin ng tonoplast? So, the tonoplasts are surround the central or large vacuole of the plant. So it protects the vacuoles of the plants, that is, or it protects the vacuoles of the cell, that is so-called the tonoplast. So the tonoplast also active pump of the potassiums, okay, into and out of the vacuole. And then the vacuole enzyme to break down food matter. So ang vacuole enzymes ay nangyayari doon sa tonoplast, wherein nagkakaroon ng breakdown yung food matter and kino-convert siya into an enzymes. Okay? And then, ang central vacuole naman is an storage space for the water and other molecules in the cells. So, siya yung pinaka-storage of water, yung central vacuole. Okay? And other molecules in the cells. So, siya din yung nagfa-facilitate doon sa growth, absorbs water, or it facilitating the cell growth, okay, absorb water and increasing the size and expanding the volume and size of the plant cells. So ang ginagawa ni central vacuole ay nag-enhance or nag-grow ng cells, or kaya it help the growing of the cells, and at the same time it help in the absorption of water, and it help for the increasing of the size or the expanding the volume of the plant cells. So ang tumutulong sa pag-expand ng plant cells and at the same time pag-absorb ng tubig is the central vacuole, so that maging manormalize yung work ng mismong cells natin. So this is the itsura or this is the face of the vacuole. Okay, ganyan. So the Golgi apparatus, that is the Golgi apparatus, this is the nucleus and others. I hope na mai-internalize lahat sa inyo ito. And then we have also the cell membrane, the vesicles, and also this is the peroxisome. And then we have the mitochondrion, the lysosomes, the ribosomes, and others. So lahat ng mga parts ng cells na ito is very important in the growth and development, upang sa ganon, ang plants natin manormalize yung mismong production niya. Especially kapag ito ay ang ina-attend ng isang agronomist or farmer is to create or to produce a higher yield. Para makapag-create na or makapag-produce ng higher yield, kakailanganin pa rin na kailangan ang unang-unang i-attain na objective dito is to normalize the process of the cells, especially in the conversion of the food, like yung ating glucose and also the protein that needs during the development or growth ng ating plants. Ano yan? Okay, so that is the discussions. But before we proceed to our but before we end, I will be giving you a video presentation about the vacuole process.
The other organelles of plant cells that are also present in animal cells are vacuoles. However, vacuoles are easily seen in plant cells than in animal cells because of their size. Vacuoles in plant cells are bigger than in animal cells. Vacuoles in plant cells usually occupy more than half of the cell space. Vacuoles are membrane-bound structures. They store water, food, and waste products of the cell. They also help maintain water balance in plant cells. Since the vacuoles store water, they can maintain the rigidity of the cells and provide support for plants to stand upright. Also, the water inside the vacuoles pushes out into the cell wall, producing turgor pressure. This turgor pressure maintains the crispiness of fresh vegetables. In addition, vacuoles in some plants may contain poison or toxic substances. These substances can harm animals once eaten, so these serve to protect them.
Okay, so that's the end of our presentations about introduction to plant physiology, especially the plant cells, the history, and also the importance of the physiology in our crop. If you have any questions regarding our discussions, you are free to ask kung naintindihan nyo or hindi. So, pwede nating i-rediscuss during our classes. But for now, this is the discussions na kung saan ay magkakaroon tayo ng quizzes next meeting, especially bukas, Thursday.